What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and this is the last week of the season. Welcome to week 17 of my weekly NFL Picks show for the 2014-2015 NFL season. I trust that we've all had our fill of holiday cheer and turkey. I know I have, and we are back to talking about some football. Again, last week of the regular season. All the games are tomorrow on Sunday. I did wait a little bit longer to get this video out just so that we could get all the holiday stuff out of the way, and now we're into it, man. Week 17, it's an important week. There's still playoff implications on the line. There's some really good games coming up tomorrow. I'm going to get very briefly into my week 16 results. We're not going to spend too much time on them before we get into the week 17 picks. Big three against the spread in week 16. I only hit one of the three. I missed Indy, I missed Denver, but I got Pittsburgh. So I only went 1-2. I'm 24-22-2 on the big three against the spread on the season. Pretty much guarantees me a 500 record so long as I at least get one of my picks this week, which I feel pretty good about my picks this week, so that should work out. Overall against the spread, I'm sitting at 122, 113, and 5. Platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks from week 16. I went 3-1. I got the platinum pick, which is now an astounding 14-2. Unfortunately, I missed the gold pick again, so I'm only 8-8 on the gold pick. My apologies to Philadelphia Eagles fans. I got the silver and got the bronze. Both of those are sitting at 11-5. Straight up in week 16, I only went 9-7, which is the same as I went against the spread in week 16. 151 up, 88 down, and 1 on the year. Now, what that means is I have to go 12-4 this week to match my personal best in terms of straight up correct picks on the season, which is 163. So I got to go at least 12-4. There's some interesting games in there, stuff that might get a little wonky, but I'm hoping to do much better than 12-4. Private Pick'em, I'm still sitting in 11th place out of 41, but shout out to West of KC, and I believe this is like your third win on the season, maybe more than that. Shout out to West of KC for winning week 16. Only had a 10-6 record, brought in 92 of 136 confidence points. I only brought in 80 with my 9-7. So they won week 16, and Steelers' awesome Jeffy-Poo is still our overall leader, about 60-some points ahead of me, but that still shows you top 12 in there, only separated by about 60-70 points with the playoffs still to go, so it's still a tight race here. Nobody's won anything yet, but shout out to West of KC for winning week 16 and Steelers' awesome Jeffy-Poo for remaining the overall leader. I'll take this opportunity in the video to remind you that if you go to the description of the video, you'll be able to find all of my results from week 16, all of my against the spread picks for week 17, information on joining the Bridgewater's finest pick'em pool for the playoffs, as well as links to other high-quality NFL YouTube prognosticators who I love very deeply. Alright folks, let's go. Week 17, last week of the regular season. Here come the picks. We're going to start with the big three against the spread. I've taken 3 games that have playoff implications, 2 of them directly for a division. I wasn't man enough to take that Carolina at Atlanta game. I couldn't man up and put it in the big three, but I did take another game that does have some playoff implication. My number 3 play on the big three against the spread comes in the Detroit at Green Bay game. Packers are favored here by a touchdown plus a half point at home. I'm going to tell you to go with the road Lions. Do I think the Lions win the game? No, I don't. I think Rodgers is too good at Lambeau. I do think Green Bay pulls this off, but these two teams play close games. I mean, obviously, division rivals. I never like to take more than a touchdown spread in division games. I get wonky about that, and especially here where Detroit's defense has been so good all year. I don't think they're going to totally shut Rodgers down with those great receivers that he's got, and Eddie Lacy absolutely tore it up last week, but I do think Detroit keeps it close enough that 7.5 points is far too many. Number 3 play, big three against the spread, Detroit plus 7.5 at Green Bay. My number 2 play on the big three against the spread this week comes with the AFC North Championship on the line. The Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Pittsburgh are favored by 3.5 points here at home, and that's the way that I'm going to tell you to go with Pittsburgh minus 3.5. Reason being, I like Pittsburgh to win this game. I just like Pittsburgh to win the game straight up. Cincinnati has been playing well the last little while, and the AFC North has been a dogfight from day one. It's been the tightest, and some would argue the best division in football. With the division title on the line, Heinz Field is going to be explosive here, and I don't think the Bengals are going to be able to put up with that home crowd, with Big Ben, with a really talented Steelers offense, defense that's kind of turned a corner and is playing a little better lately. I like the Steelers here at home all day. Number 2 play on the Big 3 against the spread, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, -3.5. And my top play on the Big 3 against the spread this week comes in the San Diego at Kansas City game. Kansas City only favored by a single point at home, and that line has moved quite a bit. But I'm going to tell you to take the underdogs here. I'm going to tell you to take San Diego +1. Now you might be saying, Justin, with Kansas City being 5-2 at home this year, why are you taking the 4-3 on the road San Diego Chargers? One simple reason: Alex Smith will not be playing quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I can't state the importance of that enough. While Alex Smith is not an elite quarterback, he is a game manager, the very definition of the game manager. Smith is the one that has run this offense all year. He knows this offense better than anybody. And the fact that Kansas City is going to be playing a backup quarterback means that they're really going to have to rely on that run game with Jamal Charles and Niall Davis. Jamal Charles still a little beat up, I believe, although he's not as bad as he has been in the past. Niall Davis is an elite runner, but he's going to spend a lot of this game on the bench. San Diego's going to be able to stack the box, I believe, with 8. And they're going to try to stop that run game. They're going to force this backup quarterback to beat them. Kansas City's receivers are not that good. I mean, Dwayne Bowe has had a really underwhelming season. They are not strong at the wide receiver position. So that's San Diego's path here to winning this game. They got to make that quarterback and those underwhelming wide receivers beat them. I don't think that's going to happen. I think San Diego is too good of a team. San Diego can smell the postseason here. I don't know if it's as simple as winning they're in. I think they still need some help there. But Kansas City does, in fact, need more help than San Diego does. I think San Diego is going to take that added momentum. They're going to want to beat KC in KC's house. That's the way I'm going to go with this. Top play on the Big 3 against the spread this week, San Diego +1 at Kansas City. Now let's go to the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for Week 17 in the NFL, last week of the regular season. Going to start with the bronze pick, where I am 11-5. My bronze pick sees the Tampa Bay Bucks hosting the New Orleans Saints. Saints have to be one of the big disappointments of the NFL this year, not being in the conversation for that division title. They really should have been in there, but they completely collapsed at home this year. And going into Tampa Bay does not offer up much of a challenge here. Tampa Bay might want to be, kind of save face a little bit in front of the home fans, but I mean, if they want to keep up in the pace to getting this first overall pick, like I've talked about with Oakland all year, there's no reason for them really to win this game. New Orleans has a lot more to play for. They want to leave a good taste in their fans' mouth heading into next season. I like the Saints here on the road. So over the bronze pick, I'm going to tell you to take New Orleans on the road to beat Tampa Bay. My silver pick, where I'm also 11-5 on the year, sees the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Houston to play the Texans. Texans are one of the most up and down teams in the league this year as far as I'm concerned. Not quite as bad as the Bengals, but the Texans are up there. The Texans still have something to play for here. There is still a path for them to get into the playoffs, I do believe. And playing Jacksonville here, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better matchup. Still, Houston has had a way of kind of disappointing me in certain games this year with the whole quarterback situation and everything that goes along with it. So I couldn't put them higher than the silver pick. I wanted to because it's Jacksonville and, but I couldn't put them higher than the silver pick, but I like Houston all day here at home. Silver pick, Houston at home to beat Jacksonville. The much maligned gold pick, which is at 8-8 this year. God damn it, we're going to finish this season above 500. The Oakland Raiders traveling to Denver to play the Broncos. Peyton has struggled the last 2 or 3 games. That's not Peyton. That's not the team that we've come to know in Denver. Ergo, I think they're going to take that out on the Raiders. That 14-point spread that's in that game, I'm a little wonky on that because Oakland has been really good this year against double-digit spreads, but I think it's more than enough for Denver to just win this game outright. Gold pick, Denver at home to beat Oakland. Platinum pick, which again is 14-2 on the year, sees the Cleveland Browns travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Johnny Football is done for the year, so we're back to Brian Hoyer, and the quarterback parade in Cleveland continues. And by parade, I don't mean that there's a lot of them, I just mean it's this big spectacle that the kids like to watch, and they throw candy at you. By candy, I mean interceptions. The game's in Baltimore. Baltimore, like the Texans, I think still have a chance to get into the playoffs here. They need some help, but they've still got a chance to get in, and that's all the motivation that a team like the Ravens need. I would feel weird not having the Ravens in the playoffs just because this feels like a playoff team. It just feels like a playoff. Now, there's a lot of teams that feel like playoff teams that aren't going to make it, but this just feels like a playoff team to me. I'm a little bit biased because I like the Ravens, but I like Baltimore here all day. I think they're going to destroy Cleveland in Baltimore. That's the way I'm going to go for the platinum pick. Baltimore at home to beat Cleveland. Now let's take a look at the rest of my straight-up picks for Week 17 in the NFL. Last week of the regular season. It's been a hell of a ride this year. Thank you very much for taking it with me, and here they come. That is the Week 17 show for you folks. The regular season will conclude tomorrow, Sunday. It's been a great year. It's been an up and down year. It's been a crazy year in some weeks. Upsets all over the place. It's made it difficult for guys like me, but you know what? We still carved out a pretty good year here. Let's see if we can't keep it going through the playoffs. That's it for me, Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. One more time, thank you very much for sticking with me here through the regular season. Of course, we'll be back making our playoff picks. Again, slightly different getup when we do that. I hope you'll join me for those. Those are going to start next week with Wildcard Weekend.